Who are you when no one is watching? The mistake I see a lot of people doing is trying to grow influence without first of all trying to grow their character. It's dangerous. If your character is really shallow, then your leadership will eventually collapse under pressure. Pressure would never build character. It's going to reveal who you are. Character is basically revealed when you do something even when it's inconvenient for you. What you practice in private is what will eventually be displayed in public. The world celebrates what it can see, but what is sustaining it is not what you can actually see. Character is not what you said you believe. It is what your life consistently demonstrates. Define your why before you define your what. Talent will get you noticed. Vision is going to get you started. But consistency is what is going to distinguish you. I didn't feel like doing this podcast today, but I have a routine, I have a time, and I must show up. You need to ask yourself these questions daily. Does my behavior basically reflect my beliefs, my core conviction? Am I living what I claim to stand for? You're welcome back to another episode of the Inside Zone podcast. My name is Kenny Adeleke, and if you're just listening to us for the first time, I would like to welcome you to the podcast where we share insights that foster growth and leadership. And if you've been listening to us and you have not yet subscribed, please hit that subscribe button. Also follow us on Apple Podcast and Spotify. Also watch this video on YouTube as well. And I wanted to share this with every leader, your friends, your family. I believe every one of us have been called by God to lead in certain areas and certain places whereby we've been called to influence. Leadership is not defined by the title that you have. It's not by the applause of people. It's not by the hype that you enjoy. But leadership is something that you have to build intentionally, because leadership at the highest level, for you to get there, is not by accident. You have to engineer it. Today, I just want to talk about those three invisible forces that shape every leader who rises above the average and stays there. And I believe that if you can master these three things, you are not just going to lead, you are going to lead effectively and also multiply leaders. The first thing is you want to basically look at the depth of your character. Who are you when no one is watching, basically? Because your leadership is, you would never outgrow your character. That is the number one force, that the depth of your character. You can have skills, you can have talent, charisma, a lot of opportunities. But if your character is really shallow, then your leadership will eventually collapse under pressure. Why? Pressure would never build character. It's going to reveal who you are. And so the depth of your character basically means you showing up when you say you will do that. Being true to yourself at all points, right? Being disciplined when motivations even fades. Humble when success comes, knowing that it didn't take you alone to achieve it. Conviction when you're standing alone, when you have your core values and you have your conviction that this is the way to go. And so depth of character for me is one of the internal foundation that holds your leadership. I used to say one of the key principles of leadership, of influence, is character. Because character is who you are when no one is watching. The mistake I see a lot of people doing is trying to grow influence without first of all trying to grow their character. It's dangerous because you can have the influence and not use it appropriately or even lose it. And it might even amplify your flaws. But when you work on your character, then you begin to do things that are right, even when it is inconvenient for you. So how do you build this character? The depth of your character. Do the right thing, always, at all time, based off your core values. Character is basically revealed when you do something, even when it's inconvenient for you. You have that core belief that this is the right thing to do. So anyone can do the right thing when it is easy, but only leaders do the right thing when they know that is the right thing to do, even when it is not easy. Number two is that you must build private discipline before public visibility, because what you practice in private is what will eventually be displayed in public. The world celebrates what it can see, but what is sustaining it is not what you can actually see. Nobody sees the time you are preparing for an exam, for a race. Nobody sees the unlimited amount of hours that you have actually paid to achieve mastery in a skill. But what people can see is the public impact. They can't see the private discipline that you've been showing. And the third thing is that you must embrace correction. If you're going to basically build the depth of your character, you must be accountable. You should not allow your ego get ahead of you. You must always have someone that can hold you accountable. And when you have people that confront you, or you have something that can confront you, then that same thing can correct you. And so always align your values with your daily action. Character is not what you said you believe. It is what your life consistently demonstrates. Because what you are doing is you're showing people that this is who I am based off what I'm saying, and it's been true to them. And so you need to ask yourself these questions daily. Does my behavior basically reflect my beliefs, my core beliefs, my core conviction? Am I living what I claim to stand for? Am I living based off what I say this is who I am as a person? And so you must really, really build your character if you want to become a great leader. Number 2 is you must clarify your vision. You must have clarity of vision. Great leaders, I've studied the lives of leaders that I admire, and it is that most times they can see what other people cannot see. They have clarity of vision. They know where they're going, right? That's the truth is, no matter how disciplined you are as a person, if you're going in the wrong direction, you'll still end up in the wrong place. And so you need to be clear about where you are going, and not just clear about it, understanding why that thing matters and tapping into the power of the imagination to see the future before it becomes reality in your life. And so vision is one of the core things that every leader must basically have. Being able to see things, being able to see the future before it becomes reality. A lot of people are, busy, they're active, but they are not aligned, basically. And one of the things that does not make people to be aligned is when they do not have a vision. Bible says, write the vision, make it plain. Always make your vision plain. So how do you build your clarity of vision? The first thing is you want to spend time in stillness. A lot of people are busy on social media, not creating time just to be still, to be bored, to stay in that quiet place. Once you can do that, then you'll be able to define your why. Define your why before you define your what. Know why you want to do something before describing how you want to get that thing done. So write the vision now, right? Clarity increases when everything is documented. To be honest, I used to think writing what you want to achieve, what you see that has not yet manifested down, as some professional limbo jingle. But I realized that when I started writing down my vision, what I really want to get done, who I want to become, I received clarity, especially when I document it. And so many times I can go back to what I wrote down and see if I'm still working in alignment towards that particular vision. And the third thing that you need to have as a great leader is you must have the consistency of execution. You must have the executing ability, the ability to do it when you say you do it, the ability to execute. And this is where a lot of people fail. Some people don't fail in character. Some people don't fail in the vision that they have. But some people fail in executing what they have actually said. They need to execute. And executing means that you show up when you don't even feel like it. For example, I would even be clear with you. I didn't feel like doing this podcast today, but I have a routine, I have a time, and I must show up. And so execution means that you do the work when no one is even applauding you, and you're repeating the process consistently until a result begins to appear. And a brutal truth that everybody must embrace is that talent will get you noticed. Vision is going to get you started, but consistency is what is going to distinguish you, because not a lot of people are consistent. And so if you can basically build consistency, don't just build intensity, be consistent for years. And how do you build consistency? One of the simplest ways is to create systems. You have a goal, but create a system for it. I have an episode, it's called GPS, and I talk about how to create systems. Track your habits. right? Look into just doing the tiny habits first of all. Build consistency in the tiny things. Commit to showing up daily. Commit to showing up regardless of how your emotions feel. And if you are able to do these three things, I'm telling you, you are going to stand out. You will stand out. Number one, having the depth of your character. Number two is having the clarity of vision. Number three is basically consistency in execution. These three things that I mentioned, they don't operate separately. Character keeps you grounded. Your vision keeps you focused. But execution is what will keep you moving. And if you're going to remove any one of them, character, remove vision, remove execution, everything is going to fall. If you have vision, but you don't have a character, it can lead to corruption of your heart. If you have character, but you don't have a vision, you're not going anywhere, you're being stagnant. If you have vision, and you're not executing, then it's going to lead to frustration. And so if you want to be in the top 1% of top 1% that can influence people, number one, have the depth of character. Number two, clarity of vision. Number three, consistency of execution. And so I want us to go now and begin to think about it. Am I willing to do the work that is required? Because each one of these three things, they basically require you to develop yourself, grow your character, basically execute, build your habits, right? And all these things, they are formed in seasons of discipline. And so my challenge to you today is strengthen your character, work on your vision, clarify it, commit to consistency and executing whatever is in your goals with system every day. And if you do this long enough, you are not just going to lead people, you will begin to shape voices and shape generations. And we have come to the end of this episode today. And if this episode basically challenged you, please do not keep it to yourself. Share this with someone that is serious about growth. And I want you to remember that insights are powerful, but it is only when you apply those insights that they become transformation. And I want you to begin to look at these three key forces that I basically talked about and begin to apply it to your life. This is the Insight Zone with Kenny Adeleke. And we talk about growth and leadership, but we just don't talk about it. We leave it. And I'll see you in the next episode. Bye.